Right, like an absolute tit. I was just moving everything around, trying to get better angles and stuff, and I tripped over the bloody wire, and I've just pulled the connection out of the of my sensor. Right, for this we are using the Hobby Tools automotive pressure tester, and as you can see, it tests a lot of things. This car has never seen so much technology in all its life, even when it was being built. The technology we have used on it, if it was back in the day, it'll be scary. So all I'm doing is screwing this down the hole. What we got to do is, we can't fully open the throttle because our carburetor is off. So it's essentially fully opened anyway. But one thing I do have to do is stop the fuel coming through the pump. But all I do is this, open this up, connect this onto here, push it down. Oh, that's it. Don't do it properly on camera. Yeah, there we go. It's on now. Put it into our tool, go to compression, and boom, it's there. It automatically tells you you've got the right one in if you got the wrong one in. Now what it's going to do, I'm going to crank it and it will save it on each of them, and we can then, I'm going to write down as well, but it will save it on each of them and it will tell us what our compression is, and then we can work out if it's good, if it's bad, and we can go from there. So just let me undo the feed pipe going to the pump for the fuel, because the last thing I need is fuel to be coming out of here, and then we've got spark, we've got all that, and then we're going to have a fire, which might look cool on video, but I don't want that. Right, like an absolute tit, I was just moving everything around, trying to get better angles and stuff, and I tripped over the bloody wire, and I've just pulled the connection out of the of my sensor. So I'm not going to be able to use that now from now on. I'm going to have to use the manual gauge. I hope I brought a manual gauge with me. Oh, I should have got that on camera because that could have gone viral. I went right arse over tit. And lucky enough, the computer wedged and it just pulled the wire out. So I don't think I've done any damage to the computer. Hopefully I can repair it. But anyway, yeah, bloody annoying. Anyway. Let me continue with this and we'll see what we've got. We'll see what readings we've got. So 170, 175, which is good. Which is good. Right, cylinder number 2, and like I said, we do have to be careful because the oil is going to help the compression. So it could be disguising it slightly. So we bear that in mind. Is that 175? It's good. Right, I am expecting cylinder number 3 to be slightly lower, just because there's no real oil in it, where there is in the others, and like I said, the oil will kind of disguise it. So if my theory is correct, this should be lower than the other ones. It's 155. So yeah, lower than the other two. Okay, we're on cylinder number 4 now, and if my theory is correct, this one should be higher than the third one. And again, it's because of the oil in the cylinder. We'll see if I'm right. Was I right? Ah, look at that. Jesus, 175 again. Pretty much bang on. So the one with not leaking oil is lower, which like I said, I would expect that. So we could still have a slight blow-by on here, which again, I would say we're having a little bit just because of the age of the engine and how many miles it's done. It has done quite a lot of miles. So we'll leave it up to the customer what he wants me to do, you know. It's not like really bad or anything like that as yet. It is obviously worn. There is going to be issues. If you take the head off and get all that done, you might as well do piston rings and stuff like that, just because, you know, to freshen it up. And yeah, but we'll see. Then if you do piston rings, you have to do big ends and stuff. Like, where do you stop? Do you know what I mean? Where do you stop? Do you just do the head first and wait for other things to happen, or do you kind of do it all at once? This is always the big question. But I am happy enough with the compression readings, and just as I thought, the one with no oil is slightly lower. But yeah, it's kind of what I expected, and it does go to show also that the engine is in fairly good nick, even though it's old and it's done a lot of mileage. They don't make them like they used to. Mercedes, why can't you do this again? Why don't you have this type of, you know... Oh, anyway, modern cars, eh? Right, so that's it. So you can see how good it is to actually have a look inside the engine and do a compression test. And you can really clearly see what's going on. And you can also clearly see that there is oil in the cylinders, which also made the compression higher. So it's a really good way, obviously, without completely dismantling your engine and finding these things out. Doing a compression test is always good. And also putting a bore scope down there is good because you can clearly see what's going on. And we could see that the valves are leaking. You know, you can clearly see everything. So at least we know we've definitely got a valve issue, not necessarily a piston ring issue, but I'd still say they're warm. You can see that the pitting on the inside of the engine as well, you can clearly see that, which is obviously also losing compression. You know, all these things aren't helping, but the oil is sealing them little pits. So I think this is lower on compression than what it's actually showing, but still good. You know, it's still not like completely gone or anything like that. So what we're going to do now is that's going to be it. I'll let you know what's going on. If the engine is going to be rebuilt, we will be obviously showing a video on it. I don't know if he's just going to do the head first and then, you know, do the pistons and everything later on. You know, we'll see. I think the head is definitely worse than the pistons. So if you had to pick which one to do first, would be the head, and then you can, you know, do the pistons afterwards. But it's like everything. If you were to do the pistons properly, you'd really want to take them off, take the head out, so you can actually do everything together. So if you just do the head first, for example, you're going to have to take the head back off once you do the pistons, because you're going to have to, you know, clean all the walls up and everything. So it is best to do it all at once, but it also comes down to money and real world and practical and all that stuff. This engine could last another 5 or 6 years before you have to do absolutely anything to it. That's another thing to bear in mind. You don't necessarily have to do it. But anyway, next video on this is going to be completely rebuilding the carburetor. And yeah, so as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.